Are you feeling down because of all the negativity we're being bombarded with these days? Well, there are simple things that you can do to bring more light and positivity back into yours and your community's lives. Hi, I'm Diane Hatz, host of Hearth Talks. In my previous video, I talked about things people can do collectively to counteract the negativity in the world today. I'll have a link to it below somewhere. So, what I've noticed, especially in Portland over the past few months, is that people aren't fighting back in a traditional sense. They're standing up to the darkness and the horrible things that are happening through laughter, joy, satire, and dancing, especially dancing. So, we can only banish dark with light. What that means is fighting anger with anger only increases more anger. We need to raise up our own energy and counteract their negativity with satire, humor, dancing, and fun. So, like I said, there are simple things you can do wherever you are to help balance the universe and to bring it back into equilibrium because we have tipped way too far into the negative and into the darkness. And the people in power, they want us scared and they want us afraid so they can control us. Let's not make that happen. So, some things you can do in your everyday life include smile. I'm not joking. Smiling is a radical act. So, I walk the same trail here. It's called the Rail Trail in New Mexico almost every day. And I smile and say good morning to everybody I pass by that looks up and acknowledges me. I leave the people alone who are like so into their zone of their world that they just do not want to communicate with others. I try to send them positive energy. Um, we just don't know what's going on in someone else's life. So I'd say at least 80%, even 90% of people that I walk by will look and will acknowledge, will say, hi, I've made friends from doing this. But it's just that simple act of sharing a smile that can make a difference. So smiling at someone else, it helps them feel happier, more relaxed, and connected. It even fosters empathy. Smiling is also contagious, so your one smile alone could end up uplifting and raising the energy of your entire community because you smile at a person who then will go smile at somebody else who, and it will just exponentially spread throughout your area. So compliment. This is just one step beyond smiling. If you see someone and you like their hair, their coat, their lipstick, anything about them, but you truly like it, don't be fake, but you truly like it, let them know. Just say, oh my God, love that hair color. It will make both you and the other person feel better. Don't wait for a response either. Say something nice and move on. I mean, unless, of course, you want to stop and have a chat. So complimenting someone releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, and that'll help both you and the other person feel happier. I mean, try it out. Let me know how you felt. Another thing you can do is listen. I volunteer with an animal shelter here in New Mexico, so once a week I literally sit in a pen with puppies and try to get them adopted. What I've found over the 3 or so years that I've been doing this is that there's a lot of people who just need someone or just want someone to talk to. So I listen. I consider that part of my job. So with dog adoptions, many people who come up have lost a dog and they're not sure if they're ready to adopt again. So I listen and I let them remember their pet, and I sometimes grieve. I have a lot of people will come up that have adopted through our shelter, ask how the dog's doing for photos of the dog. It really, really can make a person's day, and you never know what someone is going through. And I also have found some people just seem lonely, and I consider that as much a part of my job as trying to get the puppies adopted, and maybe even more important on a social level. So it's listening. It's a really simple thing to do, but so many of us are too busy trying to get our point across. So try striking up a conversation in the grocery store line, or any line you find yourself in. Go in with curiosity and listen to what the other person has to say. Stick with simple topics. It's best to stick with simple topics like the weather, or, if you're in the grocery line, like, oh, that cheese. I've always wanted to try that. Have you had it before? And just let the other person talk. So that simple act of listening, it can help build trust. It can help build our sense of empathy, and it helps us get to know people better who live outside our everyday reality. So another thing you can do, this is one step further, is to help. I was waiting in a checkout line a couple weeks ago, and I heard a woman a few people back mentioning that she was late for work. She had to get lunch. So the woman she spoke with let her up in front of her. The woman then in front of her let her up. Then I let her up. And the woman was so grateful and appreciative that we like was shaking her head that she couldn't believe that we would do that. It made her day. Like it was obvious. You could tell it made her day. She left lighter. She was all stressed in line, and just our simple acts, which has meant nothing, literally less than 30 seconds of our lives of wait time for her to go first. It changed her day and it made us feel better. So another example, I was walking around my apartment complex a few weeks ago, and an older woman had driven up to the trash receptacles and was taking out her recycling and her trash. And I noticed, she has difficulty walking, and she had like 4 boxes, and it was a struggle. So I just walked over, picked the stuff up she hadn't, and I took it to the bin for her, and she was so grateful. And that's the thing, is these really small acts, holding a door for someone who has bags, these little acts make the person feel good, and that shifts energy. And if you don't know it, everything is energy. Like that chair you're sitting in or that car you're in, that's just condensed energy. Matter is only energy. So we change our energy, we can change the things around us. So what can you do, or what have you done to help others in your neighborhood or your community? If you film or post about what you do, please use the hashtags #OneKindAct and #HearthActs. And let's share what good we're doing, because by sharing what you're doing, it's not bragging. Like, don't brag, but just let people know, like, hey, this happened today, because that will then increase the dopamine and the good feel chemicals in other people's brains, and it'll inspire them to also do something to help their neighbors. This is how we change the world. I know this is true. I know this. Please, let's all go out and do something kind for ourselves and our neighbors today. Thank you. Until next time, be well. Thanks.